It's not between the runs, but the laps. It's not between two teams, but many to come. It's not just between the players, but also their machines. Sweat, not in the jerseys, but in their gears. It's about the race this time. Show up to cheer for Amchi Mumbai. Yes, it's me. And no, it's not cricket. But it's the same energy. It's not between the runs, but the laps. It's not between two teams, but many to come. It's not just between the players, but also their machines.
Hi, welcome to Dubai Autodrome. We are back here to continue our championship. And the season is past the halfway point. Kimi Antonelli is leading the championship with 136 points. But he still couldn't sit back and relax since Taylor Bana and his teammates are still having chance to catch up. But before today's restart, let's have a quick look at what happened last week in Kuwait. 各位观众，大家好，欢迎回到我们的直播现场。即将进行的是国际汽联中东区域方程式锦标赛第4站第1回合的正赛了。目前呢 ，Kimi Antonelli 呢是以136分领跑积分榜，不过 Taylor Bana 以及其他的队友依然有机会赶超。在今天的正赛开始之前，先让我们回顾一下上一站在科威特的精彩集锦。
Was a very different event, a new circuit, only for the second time in about 5 days that it was used for Formula Regional Middle East, but we had banter right from the start. In the sandstorm, the Hyderabad Blackbirds by MP cars took each other out at the start, and it caused absolute chaos throughout. As the drivers tried to avoid and dodge the chaos, there were plenty more races that could have been ruined or squandered. The man who managed to emerge from the cloud of steam and smoke was Andrea Kimi Antonelli. The young pretender to the crown really started to make a play for it this time in Kuwait Motor Town, finally managing to push himself to grab his first race win after an epic duel with Spain's Marty Boyer. A first-time winner, and it could well be the first of many, the way things are currently progressing. He went from a fabulous performance in race 1 to then go into the reverse grid race the day later. And from that reverse grid pole, there was chaos right from the start. Unfortunately, Aidan Neat, Nikita Bedrin, and of course, Rafael Kamara had nowhere to go but into each other. And Andrea Kimi Antonelli set off after the charge. Taylor Barnard took a strong lead, and it looked like he was going to take his first on-the-road victory. But then there were problems. He was caught and passed, first by Kiddo Smal, and then Andrea Kimi Antonelli, as the title protagonists duelled away. Barnard would scamper back to the pits and retirement. Andrea Kimi Antonelli would inherit the win and a 10th to 1st victory in phenomenal style.
It was a kind of a crazy race. Track condition was really difficult. The track was really green and very slippery. Yeah, at the end the pace was good and we managed to win.
But Andrea Kimi Antonelli genuinely thought he could make it 3 from 3 and set that out to be his mission. As he battled for position, he ended up running off the road in his bid to take the lead. And unfortunately, that would come back to bite him later, as a 5-second penalty would emerge for the Italian for gaining an advantage off the road. However, that wouldn't be the reason he lost the race. It would be the resurgent Taylor Barnard for PHM Racing that would pick off one by one and charge his way forward, eventually catching his main title rival and bagging a fabulous victory. Taylor Barnard's title fight begins here.
We managed to redeem ourselves in the last race, and yeah, the gap looked very big, but in the end we had the pace to catch up, and yeah, I'm very happy for the team and myself, obviously.
So after winning his first on-the-road triumph, it was a fabulous result for Taylor Barnard, and he now is the closest challenger to Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Rafael Camara, Lorenzo Flusha and Nikhil Bora are still mathematically in touch, but they really need to score big, with Antonella barely scoring at all, in the hope that they can keep in the title fight. Antonelli is dominating the rookie battle as well, with Taylor Barnard just a point ahead of Nikhil Bora, and Aidan Neat and Rafael Camara still there or thereabouts. But in the teams battle, it is Mumbai Falcons all the way, more than double the points of PHM Racing, very likely by the end of this weekend. And where better than to return to the Dubai Autodrome where we started the season. It has been fabulous to be here, and we are very excited about our return to this fabulous spectacle of a race circuit. It really is game time now in the championship fight. Taylor Barnard has to do something big to try and keep up with Andrea Kimi Antonelli in the title battle. But the Italian could actually win the title in race 3 this weekend if everything falls his way. So he has to keep pushing, and Taylor Barnard cannot afford to give up for a moment. And it's certainly Antonelli that has bit first blood in qualifying. He has grabbed pole position for this first race, but Taylor Barnard is not far away, 4th on the grid. It very much is game on here in the Formula Regional Middle East Championship. Hello everybody, Jake Sanson here with you, overlooking the Dubai Autodrome. Is really quite a spectacular sight, and it's a wonderful race circuit where there's plenty of battles to be had and some amazing duels to come. With 6 races still to go in this campaign, there is still a lot to do and a lot to talk about. We've got a great battle ahead. So, the drivers are the stars, but what about the team principals? What have they got to say about the challenges of being at the helm in Formula Regional?
Became a team manager, basically working my way up from the bottom.
Well, I grew up in a motorsports family.
I was a race engineer for about 10 years.
I did some driving myself. Then one thing led to another.
Oh. Well, I started as a driver. And then after that, I decided to have a team.
You know, it's new people, new cars, so you get some guys that don't know the car. They don't know how you want to work. They don't know each other. So it's a challenge.
And now the competition level is completed another step.
You have to decide before the season starts, you know, the equipment, the consumables, you have to manage that correctly.
So obviously you have to deal with the young drivers. So yeah, a nice puzzle.
It's a quite intense period, you know, with 5 events in 6 weeks.
But I think the bigger challenge is knowing the area. Every session, the track is almost a new track.
One who likes his boss? No.
I always find the number one thing is attitude.
Teamwork, number 1. And another thing is attention to detail.
Willing to learn and to work with others are quite important.
For myself, maybe I sleep averagely 4 to 5 hours per day. That probably explains the hairstyle.
During a race weekend, not a lot.
Some cases you go 2-3 days with very little sleep.
Personally, I think it's very important to have a good rest.
It depends. The last couple of events have been some quite late nights. It's part of what makes it rewarding when you do get the good results. Yeah, I think I've got the best job in the world. You know, to mix my passion since I was a kid.
I'm never going to be far from motorsport. I love it. If I'm not an engineer, if I'm not a manager, I would be something different.
You have to like what you're doing. I think you have to like the people, the cars, the challenge of trying to be winning, and the challenge of trying to be better than everybody.
You know, here we are, whatever, 15 years later, it's my life now.
So there you are. Would you trade places with the likes of Oliver Oakes or John O'Hara? I'm not sure I would. They really do have a tough job keeping up to date with everything that's going on over the course of a Formula Regional Middle East weekend. It is tough, it is brutal, and it really is managing a circus. And unfortunately, as with all circuses, you can't always tell the acrobats which way to jump. So you've got to manage all of the logistics and all of the fallout from everything that happens over the course of a race weekend. And we only have 2 race weekends left this season before the battle really comes to the forehead. It is going to be a very tricky challenge now for these remaining 6 races in the Formula Regional Middle East Championship. For those who are watching along on the YouTube stream, the official Formula Regional Middle East Championship certified by FIA YouTube stream, hello to those of you. Your comments and your questions would be very much appreciated. Myself, Jake Sanson, here in the commentary box, I'll happily try and deal with as many of them as I possibly can. I'll plead ignorance for a few of them because unfortunately I'm not a racing driver and I'm not a team manager, so I can only answer the ones to which I know the answers to. But I tell you what, I'm just as excited as you are to see how this incredible battle plays out. There are a few changes compared to last time out, of course, just as there has been across many of the different race weekends. There are a few new faces. Tim Tramnitz of Germany has come in to replace the Peruvian Matthias Zagazeta, who has returned to Europe in preparation for his upcoming summer campaign. Ayato Iwasaki is now out of the car again at Pinnacle, and he has given it back to the Spanish charge Pepe Marti, who of course is going to be racing in Formula 3 a little bit later on this season. And Sebastian Hugard has returned to the Hyderabad Blackbirds by MP Motorsport team, replacing Joshua Dirksen, the Paraguayan, who did such a great job in Kuwait. Sadly, he has not been able to return, so that car is with Sebastian Hugard once again. So down on the grid, the pole position sitter is Andrea Kimi Antonelli. And of all people to speak to, well, you know you've done well when you've got Feline Wang to chat to before the start of a Formula Regional Middle East Championship race. Let's see how Andrea Kimi Antonelli is limbering up ahead of this weekend.
Hey, Kimi, do you feel more comfortable on your return to Dubai as a championship leader?
Yeah, obviously it's a great feeling, but you know, it's never easy, especially in this track with these conditions. But yeah, I mean, we started the weekend very well, and hopefully we can keep going like this on the races.
Good luck with the race. 那刚刚我问到 Kimi 呢，因为他上一次在迪拜呢，其实没有拿到很好的成绩。那么他这次回来呢，又以这个整个的championship的一个领先者的地位呢，他还提到呢，这次他更有信心了。这条赛道呢，从来就是不容易的。不过呢，他这个车辆的调教的非常的好，也希望呢在今天的比赛当中有一个好的成绩。Back to you guys.
Thanks very much, Feline. Great to hear from Andrea Kimi Antonelli as he prepares to go into battle for the victory once again. He picked up a pair of victories in Kuwait Motor Town, of course. He was trying to become the first driver to win the hat-trick. He very nearly got the job done as well. He ended up having to finish race 3 in 4th position behind Taylor Barnard, Rafael Camara and Lorenzo Flusha, his teammates. And all 4 of those drivers are now in the hunt for the title. But Nikhil Bora and Mari Boya are not far away in terms of points. They could score big here this weekend. Here's Tim Tramnitz, the German driver, who has come into the championship this weekend for the first time. And it'll be obviously a very interesting and positive run for him. For those who are fans of the high-tech team and Luke Browning, sadly, he will not be returning here this weekend at the Formula Regional Middle East Championship to finish the season as he prepares for his summer campaign. There's no news as to what he's going to be doing, but knowing how strong he was in his motor racing campaign in Great Britain over the last 2 years, I have a feeling he's going to be a real megastar for the future. And the performance he did here in Middle East Formula Regional was very indicative of a man who is going places. This man is too. Mari Boya, just before the start of the Formula Regional Middle East Championship season, he announced that he's going to be racing in Formula 3 this year. The Spanish driver, who I've been keeping an eye on ever since his Miami Winter Cup days, when he blitzed and dominated on home soil in Spain back in 2018. And then a year later, he went on to win the Academy Trophy in the FIA karting paddock, a very special category of racing, which has been won by some very big names over the past, including the likes of Charles Leclerc, who obviously has gone on to do big things in the world of Formula 1. There is Aidan Neate for the Prema team. Another big name to watch out for on this grid. He is lining up in the top 10 alongside Brad Benavides. So he's got a good opportunity to move his way forward up the grid. So it's going to be a very exciting battle. But on the front row of the starting grid with Andrea Kimi Antonelli is not Taylor Barnard, the championship rival. It is actually Joshua Dufek, who won on the road in Kuwait and is hoping to win on the road today in Dubai and keep it. Let's see what he has to say with Feline.
Hey, George, starting from P2 this race, and what will be your approach?
Yeah, first of all, try and get a good start, and from there on, win the race.
Good luck. Yeah. 那刚刚呢，我提到呢，Josh 呢，我问到 Josh， 他从第2位发车，他对这场比赛有什么样的一个期待呢？他提到呢，他希望有一个非常好的起步，同时呢，希望能夺冠。Back to you guys.
Short and sweet from Joshua Dufek. Get in the first corner, have a good one, win the race. Sounds simple. I bet it isn't. There's Pepe Marti, who has returned to the sport after missing round 3 in Kuwait. And there is Lorenzo Flusha. A very tricky start to the weekend for him. 13th on the starting grid for this first race. Not exactly where he was hoping to be. And considering he is fighting for the top 3 in the championship, he was really hoping for a very difficult situation for the race to actually come his way. There's Kirill Smal, who came into the team to replace Dino Beganovic, who got 2 wins earlier in the season, but Dino was only here for 2 weekends and was only ever intending to be there for 2 race weekends before heading back to Maranello to prepare for his upcoming race campaign in the summer. There are some big names on this grid that you're going to hear a lot of in the days to come. Great to see the fans really soaking up the atmosphere on this Formula Regional Middle East Championship grid. Mechanics are now clearing the path for everybody to get themselves charging up to the first corner. And there are so many great competitors in this field. Race winners that are on the starting grid. We have Mari Boya, who of course got the victory in race 3 last time we were in Dubai. Nikhil Bora, who won race 2, which was the reverse grid race. Taylor Barnard, who inherited a victory in round 2 and then scored one on the road in race 3. 2 wins for him. Sami Megatunov won race 3 in Kuwait. And Andrea Kimi Antonelli almost got the triple just over a week and a half ago in Kuwait Motor Town. Almost won all 3 races across the 2 days. So it really would be fantastic and really exciting to see what he can do this time by. A lot of people invoking the same sort of attitude that I'm having. No safety cars, please. It has been a tough year for the drivers in the Formula Regional Middle East Championship, and we would love a pure race that is going to be unsullied by safety cars. We would like to see a pure battle and no interruptions of any kind. We did get to see some really good racing in race 3 at Kuwait Motor Town last time out. That was a race completely not tainted by safety cars, just great battles all the way through, which was really exciting. So a fascinating situation for all of the competitors at the moment as they gear up for another good start of it. But obviously the racing is going to be very intriguing from the outset here. Plenty of drivers wanting to showcase their skills. And I'm sure everybody wants to see how it's all going to play out. Lewis Everett asks a really good question. Can Kimi win the championship this weekend? Technically, yes, he can. But he has to have Taylor Barnard have literally the worst weekend in his entire life. And he can't win it until race 3. So he hasn't quite got the points gap now over Taylor Barnard to win the title until race 3. So yes, he can, but he has to win all 3 races. And for Taylor Barnard not to score. And Taylor Barnard will be absolutely determined to score. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if we don't get the champion confirmed until Abu Dhabi. It's a very long shot indeed for Andrea Kimi Antonelli to win the title this time. Yes, he does have a lead. He does have a decent cushion over Taylor Barnard, but Barnard has proven that he does have the mentality to catch him. When you consider that there is 150 points still to be scored and Andrea Kimi Antonelli has a lead of 44 points, it can still go anybody's way. There's still every opportunity. Let's say Antonelli were to win the next 2 races. That would give him a lead of 94 points if Taylor Barnard were not to score in the first 2 races, but there would be 100 points available. So it's still open playing field. Andrea Kimi Antonelli on the front row of the grid from Joshua Dufek alongside him. Then Rafael Kumara and Taylor Barnard, another Mumbai Falcon and another PHM, swapping sides. Nikita Bedrin, a brilliant P5. Tim Tramnitz, in his first race of the season, P6. Sami Megatunov and Mari Boya, hoping the Hyderabad Blackbirds don't tangle into each other this time. And Brad Benavides, their teammate, is there in 9th position. Aidan Neat is in P10. Martinius Stenshorn, a great job in qualifying as he lines up alongside the returning Pepe Marti. Lorenzo Flusha and Kirill Smal, the Mumbai Falcons teammates, on the 7th row. Then it's Sebastian Ugar alongside Sebastian Montoya. Blackbirds versus High-Tech. Michael Shin in the Prema continues to develop alongside Levi Ravej in the RSGP. Then Nikhil Bora, very tricky qualifying for him. Likewise for the Pinnacle driver Tzanopol and Vavazak. Then Rafael Villagomez alongside Giovanni Mascio, the Pinnacle and the R&B drivers. And then Han Chen-Yu alongside Dan Mavlyutov for the high-tech team in 24th. The last car on the grid, Niels Keulen from the Netherlands in P25. So there are 2 missing cars from the fray. You will have probably worked out that they are both from the high-tech team. Gabriele Mini electing not to continue the season, and Luke Browning likewise after his foray into Kuwait Motor Town, which means there are 25 cars now on the starting grid here in the Dubai Autodrome. And this is going to be quite the challenge. Who is going to become champion? Who is going to get the victory this weekend? There are 3 races, and so far there's only been 1 weekend where we have not had 3 different race winners from the 3 races, and that was round 3 at Kuwait Motor Town when Antonelli got the win and then the reverse grid win in unbelievably good circumstances. Just all fell apart for him in race 3, otherwise it could have been 3 out of 3. The fans watching in the stands there and doing a fascinating job as they bid for the glory. We'll see who gets the top spot. It's going to be a really exciting challenge for the victory. But can Andrea Kimi Antonelli get his 3rd win of the season here in Dubai? He certainly has the pole position. Now that he has got a win under his belt, he certainly has the confidence that goes with it. But Joshua Dufek now has a race win from his point of view under his belt. It was taken away from him in Kuwait on a technicality when a component on his car failed the technical checks. But as far as he's concerned, he's a race winner. He knows how to do it. He can get the job done. And if he can get one over on Andrea Kimi Antonelli off the start, he's got a great car underneath him, the PHM machine, so he can really make it work. But in the first 2 rows, we have a Mumbai Falcon on one side and a PHM on the other. Watch for Nikita Bedrin from P5 on the grid as well. And also keep one eye on Tim Tramnitz in the RHGP car. He's come straight up to P6 in qualifying. That's no fluke. Tramnitz has the skill. Megatunov and Boyer want a piece of this as well. We'll probably need to watch for Marti, Flusha and Montoya trying to work their way up through the field as well. So there's plenty of directions to look in this Formula Regional Middle East Championship battle. PHM and Mumbai Falcons watching on, hoping that their boys are going to come through in a victorious fashion here in race 1 of the weekend in Dubai. The final couple of cars being into position now. And the fans are ready for these future superstars of world motorsport to do battle on the Dubai Autodrome for the 2nd time this season. This is going to be quite the challenge, and they know how tough it's going to be. The green flag flies at the back of the grid, and so the lights come on. When they go out, we'll be racing here in Dubai. Wait for it. Here we go. It's a brilliant start from Antonelli. It's just as good, if not better, from Dufek. Dufek's going to draw level and get alongside. They're going to go wheel to wheel to the first corner. Dufek with a majestic start, and he's going to beat Antonelli to turn 1, but can he hold it? Round the outside comes Antonelli, and Dufek parks the car perfectly. No issue for the Swiss. He takes the lead. So Joshua Dufek leads from Antonelli in 2nd place. 3rd position, that looks like a big move from the Mumbai Falcon car, going wheel to wheel there. Rafael Kamara trying to break through, but Barnard has got into 3rd position. Great news for PHM. Barnard can go straight after Antonelli nice and early, as Antonelli now tries to battle with Dufek in the early part of the lap. He'll be wanting to get through on Dufek. He's trying his best. Has he been able to get through? Antonelli dueling away with Dufek, and the car in front is a Mumbai Falcon. No, it's not. It is still Dufek. I do apologise. But the other PHM, Barnard, has managed. Antonelli is now drawing level alongside Dufek, wheel to wheel, and there's still battles further back as well, as Barnard is trying to shake off Kamara. Antonelli trying to go the long way round on Josh Dufek. No, you don't. Joshua Dufek holds the lead. Barnard now trying to come in round the outside of Antonelli. This is for the championship fight, these 2 drivers battling for the honours. Antonelli trying to hold on in front of Barnard. Barnard now sweeps to the far side as Antonelli goes for the lead on Dufek. Can he get through? Antonelli draws level with Josh Dufek and gets a better run off the turn. Antonelli's going to have Dufek alongside him all the way to the braking zone for the left-hander. Barnard's going to creep in behind his teammate as well. He wants to get through Antonelli and get in front. A big launch, and then Barnard's going to get past both of them. Taylor Barnard into both men. Taylor Barnard takes the lead here in Dubai. Oh, magnificent. Taylor Barnard doesn't just get past Dufek, as into the marker board goes Antonelli. No, sorry, that's Kamara. Kamara hits the marker board, but Barnard has swept past them both, and Barnard leads from Dufek and Antonelli. What an amazing opening lap from Taylor Barnard. He was patient, he was calm, he was reserved, and now he leads. Dufek in second place. Antonelli trying to creep through in a P2. And there's no chance of it. What an amazing situation. And such an incredible start to this race from Taylor Barnard. Now Dufek has got the pressure of Antonelli. Antonelli really wanted to take points off and pull away from Barnard. Well, Barnard is now going to score 10 more than Antonelli if it stays like this. 25 for the win, 15 for third. This is exactly what Taylor Barnard wanted. He wanted to eat into the advantage, and that's going to be a safety car. We've got a car in trouble. It's one of the Pinnacles. I'm trying to make out which one it is. Oh, well, that tells us who it is. That is Rafael Villagomez, the Mexican. And he's got damage to the underside of the car. Oh, goodness me. He's clattered into the side of Giovanni Mascio. And that's broken the car quite dramatically there. But that car is well off the racing line. So are we going to go safety car? No, oh, right off the road goes one of the Premas. That's got to be Aidan Neat drifting wide there. So Aidan Neat has lost a couple of positions. But are we under safety car or are we not? Because I saw a yellow flag waving. But are we still racing or are we under safety car conditions? No, we're still racing by the look of it. So Kido Smal now trying to dive up the inside. No, that's Flusha. Flusha going wheel to wheel with Aidan Neat. The thing is, Villagomez's car has come off the road, but it's gone right off the dangerous part of the course. So they can keep racing as that is Flusha dueling with Neat. And in there as well, we've obviously got Pepe Mority and Brad Benavides all hunting them down. Drivers running wide and deep. Yellow flags at the final turn. And it's safety car. They have called safety car after all. Well, goodness me. Now, Bedrin's got to concede the position there and give it back to Sami Megatunif by the look of it. But as you can see, these meter boards have been decimated in the first couple of laps. Well, big drama on the first couple of laps then as Taylor Barnard charges his way to the lead. Now this is the replay of why we're... Oh, goodness me, airborne. So that was a big hit between Giovanni Mascio and Rafael Villagomez. And that's why we're under safety car. That was a big hit. And the Mexican went airborne there. Now hopefully he is okay. But obviously a really tricky situation. But Taylor Barnard really did put on the bells and whistles there, didn't he? That was some incredible racing in the first couple of laps. I really want to see that move again from Taylor Barnard. How he just slotted in behind his teammate Dufek. Dufek was so busy focusing on Antonelli that he just drifted wide. And that was enough for Barnard to just take his moment and get into the lead of the race. That was absolutely stunning from Taylor Barnard. And yet again, proof that we are going to have such an incredible title battle. This is really close. Really, really close. But Taylor Barnard has really pulled a fast one here in Antonelli. From fourth on the grid to take the lead. And with his main rival Antonelli from the pole down to third. Those who want a championship fight that goes down to the wire are definitely being served up a treat here. Because the gap is going to come down. If it stays like this at the end of the race, it's going to come down from 44 points to 34 points. So that just intensifies the battle once again with 5 races to go at the end of this one and 125 points available. The gap coming down is definitely going to spice things up. And I spoke to Taylor Barnard after round 3 in Kuwait and asked him, you know, do you think you can get this done? He said, there's no doubt in my mind we can win this. No doubt in my mind at all. We can win this title. We should already be leading the championship in terms of points. If you take away the problems we had in qualifying in Dubai, if you give me back the victory that I lost in Kuwait, if you give me back the victory that I lost in Kuwait in race 1 of race 3, which I was race 2, sorry, of round 3, if you give me back the 25 points I would have scored for that, we'd be right in this hunt and we'd be right there. We might even be leading the championship already. So they are determined at PHM. They can win this championship. They can make back the 44 points they have lost. And this is Taylor Barnard getting on and doing it. But Antonelli is now in second place. See where Antonelli got through past Dufek into second position. So Antonelli is right there in P2. If things keep battling the way they are, then this is going to be quite a tough one for Antonelli and Barnard to duel out. And these are two drivers that have been superstar prodigies in their youth in motor racing. Taylor Barnard was picked up by the 2016 Formula 1 World Champion Nico Rosberg in his karting days in the FIA karting paddocks. As part of, he was the first driver ever to be selected for the Rosberg Racing Academy, which was very short-lived. But Tyler Barnard was one of the first drivers to really be selected by Nico as a prospective talent for the future. And Nico does know a thing or two about talent. He is a world champion in Formula 1 after all. So, no surprises that Taylor was picked up. He was one of the top 3 drivers in the world in 2019 in the senior competition of karting. And the second he stepped into an F4 car, he showed that he had speed and pace. And here he is in Formula Regional as a rookie, by the way, fighting for the title up against drivers who have a lot more experience of driving this car. However, the man behind him still has just as much credence, as the truck marshals are doing a great job to clear that car quickly. Andrea Kimi Antonelli, second in the race, leading the championship, of course, and is part of the Mercedes F1 Junior program. All of the team at Mercedes, from Toto Wolff through to Ron Meadows to Gwen Legru, all really rate very highly indeed. And certainly in his karting days, his ability to win in OK Junior, in OK, and even winning heats and battles in KZ2 and KZ when he did his 1 year in Gearbox proves that he's definitely got that same sort of tenacity as Max Verstappen, as Charles Leclerc, the drivers who did Gearbox karting in their final year and then stepped up, showed the world what they can do. Kimi Antonelli definitely going about it exactly the same way. 19.5 minutes left, with the safety car currently leading the field around. And of course, when time runs down to 0, we get a bonus lap. We had a bit of a dramatic race in race 1 of the season when Gabriele Mini wasn't sure when the race was over or not and backed off, having battled with Dino Beganovic to the pit wall. And then he backed down all the way to 6th position. Mind you, I was a bit confused when the graphic on my screen came up with last lap as well. But there was a slight glitch in the timing system. However, that glitch has been well and truly sorted now. So we know exactly when we're going racing. And we're going back to racing now. The lights have gone out on the safety car. So the safety car is in this lap. Barnard versus Antonelli continues. They duelled for the win in race 2. They duelled for the win in race 3, last time out in Kuwait. They are battling for the title. And now it's going to be Barnard versus Antonelli again. Safety car in this lap. In their duels for supremacy, where it's been a direct wheel-to-wheel duel, Barnard has beaten Antonelli once. Antonelli has beaten Barnard once. Now they get to go wheel-to-wheel for the race victory. And with 6 races to go in the championship fight as well. Bring it on, Taylor. It's up to you to drop the hammer and go for glory. He's going to leave it as late as possible. He's going to keep Kimi Antonelli guessing. He's got every right to do this. He's the leader. Still getting the tyres and brakes up to temperature. You've got to time it right. You've got to have full confidence in the car that you're accelerating up the hill with. And now Taylor Barnard goes for it. Now he accelerates. And Andrea Kimi Antonelli is trying to stay with him as they come down to the final turn. And now that he's gone for it, he has to commit. So are we going to see a battle royale between Taylor Barnard and Andrea Kimi Antonelli? It's green, 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 green here in Dubai as we continue. Round 4, race 1. And Antonelli is already spitting out the exhaust fumes of the PHM in front of him. He's got him in the slipstream. He's going to look for a move. Barnard will not crumble under the pressure. Into turn 1. Still battles everywhere you look. That looks like one of the pinnacles going wheel to wheel with Brad Benavides. So Benavides doing as much as he can to keep into his position. He's dueling there with Pepe Marti. So Marti cannot quite get past the American at the moment. But Brad Benavides holding on for the moment then in the Hyderabad Blackbirds by MP machine and doing a fair job to try and stay on the toe of his rival in this one, Lorenzo Flusha. So still they battle on. And as the field continues on its way through, we have 17 minutes to go, but this is where things are going to get really interesting now. As it's going to get spicy. Antonelli is going to get alongside Taylor Barnard. Barnard's got to try and defend, move and cover. Antonelli will commit. Barnard's going to try and roll off the power a little bit later. Antonelli's going to get the move. Barnard wants to get a stronger exit. But Antonelli is through. And that looked pretty plain sailing for the Italian. So Antonelli gets through on Taylor Barnard. Barnard, I'm not sure whether he just let him go or whether he's playing the long game here and trying to get him back again a lap later. Certainly Nikita Bedrin's having a good battle. That's Martinius Stenshorn. The Norwegian is up in P6. Great work from Stenshorn. He's got past Boyer, past Travnitz and past Megatunif, and now he's right there in the hunt. As Neat is going wheel to wheel now with Megatunif and Flusha. Bit of a puff of brakes up the road. Little bit of a run wide there. Messrs Bedrin and Stenshorn dueling away. Is that Stenshorn now through into 5th place? I think it might be. Meanwhile, wheel to wheel, Neat is having a great duel with Megatunif. Off on the curbs. He's got to get back on the road without hitting any more of the marker boards. And it's 3 wide further back. Goodness me, Benavides dueling there with Flusha and Pepe Marti. They're having an exceptional duel. So Antonelli, Barnard, Dufek. Then it's Kamara and Bedrin. Stenshorn is there in P6. And here comes the big bid up the inside. Neat has a look on the inside of Megatunif. Meanwhile, Benavides is trying to get wheel to wheel with Pepe Marti. They just nudge wheels. And that's enough for them to just about get through. Meanwhile, Flusha is up the inside of Aidan Neat. Can he get through? No, he can't. The British driver holds his ground. Good work from Aidan Neat to hold the position. Good work from Lorenzo Flusha to fight for the gap. Both drivers really cutting their teeth in big style here in the Formula Regional Middle East Championship. I really want to go back to the front, though. Has Barnard got the slipstream on Antonelli? No, look, Antonelli's pulling clear. Antonelli's stretching away. So Antonelli, Barnard, Dufek and Kamara, that's the top 4. Then Bedrin, Stenshorn, Boyer, Tramnitz, Megatunif and Neat. Well, Antonelli trying to get well clear then of Barnard. This is a big lunge from Kamara. Rafael Kamara launches through on the inside. Lovely overtake on Joshua Dufek. Rafael Kamara has kind of been conspicuous by his absence over the course of this season. He's been there or thereabouts, banging in points finishes under the radar, and that's why he's in 3rd in the points rankings. But now we get to see the feisty Rafael Kamara make the move there on Joshua Dufek. Good move. Bit of a lock-up from Flusha trying to take on Aidan Neat. Sami Megatunif is still trying to make his move stick. Side by side, Pepe Marti going wheel to wheel there with Brad Benavides. Sebastian Montoya is having problems of his own as he duels with Kirill Smal a little further back as well. This is all getting very close together. They run up the crest, up towards the final turn, trying to stay out of each other's slipstream. Certainly trying to stay out of each other's side pods at the moment. They're going wheel to wheel, and here's the opportunity again down the inside from Megatunif, who has now lost ground not only to Pepe Marti, but could lose ground to his own teammate, Brad Benavides. He's got to be very careful to leave enough space for his American teammate. But Megatunif has already had one big shunt into the first corner here in Dubai this season, back in race 1, round 1. He certainly doesn't want another one. Benavides round the outside, commits, and there's nothing Megatunif can do about it. A good run from Brad Benavides. So Montoya's having a bit of a journey now with Revej. Montoya and Levi Revej battling away with Kiddo Smal. Smal seems to be having some difficulties in the Mumbai Falcons car. And that is Michael Shin and Sebastian Ugar just in behind him. And battling Ugar for position is Taz Indrafivazak, who has not had a good qualifying coming into this one. But at least now the battle is a little bigger for the front runners. Rafael Kamara now trying to close up on Taylor Barnard. That would really help Andrea Kimi Antonelli out. But Kamara is trying to beat Taylor Barnard in the championship fight as well. So he's got his own agenda. He's not trying to help out Antonelli at all. He's trying to help himself. Rafael Kamara hasn't given up on his dream of winning this championship title fight. Up the inside, Kirill Smal going wheel to wheel with Sami Megatunif. So Smal trying to get his overtake. Megatunif drifts onto the curb there a little bit. Hopefully he's going to be able to keep that pointing in the right direction. They both lock up behind him. That's Benavides struggling to keep this one together. But it looks to me as though Smal has held off Megatunif. And then Sebastian Montoya really struggling for front-end speed in the high-tech. Those cars have just had absolutely no speed at all this year, which is really surprising because you look at the caliber of the drivers in the high-tech car. Mini, Montoya, Browning, Jack Crawford at the start of the season was in that car as well. They just had absolutely no pace, which is weird when you consider just how talented those drivers are. We know they are world-class. We know they are high caliber. They've just got no front-end pace at all. So out of the final turn, we're Chin and Ugar. Indrafivazak is there in front of Han Shin Yu. And then we've got Giovanni Mascio, Niels Kuhlen, the Dutchman, and Dan Mavliutov. Niels Kuhlen lining up a move on Mascio. And further back, that's Han Shin Yu lining up a bid to get past Taz Indrafivazak. This is not going to be easy for Indrafivazak to bear. But Han Shin Yu gets past him. Indrafivazak, who finished on the podium earlier in the season, has not been able to get back there since and has really struggled. So Taz Indrafivazak really trying to work out what's going on because unfortunately he's got zero ability to run towards the top 3 today. And that doesn't reflect in what sort of pace we've seen from him in the past. Kamara still hunting down Taylor Barnard. But this all becomes about tyre management and patience and looking after the brakes and watching the engine revs. Everything has got to come together here. Antonelli stretching away from Barnard, but we saw that in race 3 in Kuwait. He stretched away, he pulled clear, and then he overcooked the tyres. So he's got to be very careful he doesn't do that again. Meanwhile, further back, we are still duelling Han Shenyu and Tazin Vivazak. The Chinese versus the Thai, and they are still squabbling. 10.5 minutes to go. This is Michael Shin trying to shake off the attentions and the machinations of Sebastian Ugar, with Nikhil Bora in the mix there. We don't really expect to see Bora that far down either. He's had some problems in qualifying, clearly, because he's been a championship contender right from race 2, round 1, here at Dubai. Now, if we look at the top 10, we obviously have to remind ourselves that the grid for tomorrow's race 2 is going to be based on the top 10 positions of this race, with the top 10 reversed. So if the race ends as it is now, pole position for race 2 tomorrow is going to go to the Spanish driver, Lorenzo Flusha, as Han Shenyu drifts off the road, manages to get back on in front of Tazinder Vivazak, but he can't afford to do that too many more times. Antonelli leads, Barnard second, Kamara, Dufek, Bedrin, Stenshon, Boyer, Tramnitz, Neat, and Lorenzo Flusha looking good for pole position for race 2 tomorrow. Han is still trying to shake off Indra Vivazak. Indra Vivazak goes the long way. That's where Han Shenyu places in. Can Indra Vivazak commit? He's got better traction. He has to go on the curbs. And Han Shenyu is not letting him have it. He goes right off the road. And he's going to rejoin in the path of Indra Vivazak. They almost hit each other. But Taz Indra Vivazak gets through. Wow, that was really tricky. Really tricky. That could have been absolutely disastrous. Down the back straight. Up towards the braking zone for the hairpin once more. Antonelli has pulled a decent gap over Barnard and Kamara. At the line last time by, it's only 2.2 seconds. You don't need any more than that. You just need to manage that gap. Meanwhile, Flusha is hustling Aidan Neat. Now, does Aidan Neat sacrifice a point and let Flusha go so that he can be in pole position tomorrow? Or does he hold his ground, knowing that he'll still start on the front row of the grid, but he'll bag an extra point? It all comes down to tactics at the end of the day. This is a very tactical championship. You only get 3 sets of tyres to use over the course of an entire race weekend. They'll use a fresh set for qualifying 1, they'll use a fresh set for qualifying 2, and they'll have 1 fresh set spare, and they have to be very tactical as to when they use the 3 sets. Well, you're meant to leave the meter board where it is. That was a little bit too close for comfort from one of the drivers going through. Just knocking down the meter board as he went through. Now this is Barnard versus Kamara, second and third. Antonelli still has a decent gap in front, but Andrea Kimi Antonelli wants to leave no doubt in the minds of anybody, either driver, spectator, or engineer. I'm the man for this title. I'm going to stretch away from Taylor Barnard. Catch me if you can, is the message from Andrea Kimi Antonelli today. And Taylor Barnard is doing his best to run in front of Rafael Kamara, the Brazilian, looking for another podium finish. Took him a while to get going on the silverware. Didn't take him long to bang points in, but he lost a very solid result in Kuwait last time out when he ended up clattering into the side of Aidan Neat and Nikita Bedrin. Could have had a lot more from Kuwait than he deserved. Sorry, he got a lot less than he deserved, I should probably say. Because Rafael Kamara did a fantastic job over the course of that weekend, and the Brazilian talent is definitely one to watch out for, under the tutelage of Dudu Massa, who of course is Felipe's younger brother. Rafael Kamara making a big attempt. He's not going to wait around any longer to get past Taylor Barnard. That is proper commitment from the Brazilian. And round the outside, he will hold it. Rafael Kamara, no second chances, no prisoners taken. That is banzai brave from Rafael Kamara. The Brazilian storms in on the inside. That is such a hard overtake to pull off from that far back. And with Gilles Villeneuve-style reflex, Rafael Kamara hangs on in front of Barnard. Barnard is livid. And now he's trying to go around the far side of Rafael Kamara to sneak back into second place. This is heaven sent for the Mumbai Falcons and Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Taylor Barnard will be determined to get back into position. And suddenly the roles from lap 1 are reversed. It was Barnard gaining on Antonelli's points tally by 10 points. Now, it's going to be Antonelli pulling away by 10 points. But Barnard, slipstream of Kamara, he's got to be careful because he's got Josh Dufek behind him as well. But you watch on the next lap. Barnard's going to try the same trick. You're never going to do that from that far back into turn 1. And Kamara knows it. Barnard getting frustrated. Sat behind the Brazilian who really has pulled a fast one on him. It was a mega overtaking move from Rafael Kamara. Such a good move. And now he's got to try and bring that back again, Taylor Barnard, to get himself back into contention for second place. He can't afford to lose too many points to Antonelli with 6 races to go. But there is Andrea Kimi Antonelli. If Kimi Antonelli leaves Dubai 75 points ahead of Taylor Barnard, he wins the Formula Regional Middle East Championship. In fact, to actually get the job done, he would have to do it by 76 points because Barnard could take all 3 wins and tie him and then potentially win the title on countback, depending on how the points play out. But Antonelli really wants to make the most out of this weekend. Barnard wanted to make the most out of this weekend himself. But PHM have really been dealt a poor hand of cards by comparison. The Mumbai Falcons have aces up their sleeves. Unfortunately, the PHM twins don't even have it in their hands at the moment. They're really doing their best to try and hang on to Andrea Kimi Antonelli up front. But the Mumbai Falcon, the Mercedes F1 Junior, the Italian Stallion, is stretching away here in Dubai, looking for win number 3 this season. Having a very similar... Oh! Up in the air went Kamara. Up in the air went Kamara, and somebody is in trouble. That looks like Giovanni Mascio. Giovanni Mascio has smoke billowing off the car, but Kamara went up and over the curbs there on the final bend, and I think it's dislodged things slightly. This is a great opportunity for Barnard, and he knows it. So Taylor Barnard is trying to catch up to Rafael Kamara in the hope that he can make a play to go for him. And Kamara's car does look a little bit unsettled now. Barnard, aggressive over the curbs, trying to catch up to Kamara. Look at Dufek in the background, sliding across the rumble strip as Giovanni Mascio gets out of his car and is trying to ensure we don't go to safety car, because with 3.5 minutes, that really would be race over. But it looks as though Giovanni Mascio's Alfa Romeo engine has gone pop. So Antonelli stretching away from Kamara and Barnard. Can Barnard get ahead of Kamara before we go to safety car? That is going to be crucial. And Kamara making that mistake really does give us a little bit of a headache here. Taylor Barnard knows that Rafael Kamara is going to be vulnerable. Down the back straight. Kamara knows he's vulnerable. Barnard is going to try and outfox him. It's a big lunge from Barnard. Anything you can do, I can do better. Barnard was waiting for him, and he's through in a second place. And Kamara is dropping like a stone. He hasn't got any grip. I think there's damage to the front wing. Oh, no, they're under safety car. That's why. They're under safety car. So Barnard has had to concede the place back to Kamara. Well, that surely is game over. Safety car board was called. So the team must have told Taylor Barnard, I'm sorry, mate, you're going to have to give that position back to him. He's slowed because of a safety car. Giovanni Mascio, unfortunately, ruining Taylor Barnard's chances of a comeback bid. That's where he's pulled off. He really has tried his best to find somewhere to park the car. He's managed to do it right across the racetrack. He was looking for a marshal's post with a fire extinguisher. But unfortunately, there wasn't enough power left in the car to do it, and that car has come off the circuit in an awkward position. We're going to need a miracle now to get any more racing laps in. And for Andrea Kimi Antonelli, this is perfect. Absolutely perfect. He's got a car between him and Taylor Barnard. He'll take the win. Barnard will take third, and he'll increase his gap from 44 points to 54 points. Giovanni Mascio with a rather long face. He would have liked to have finished. But what an exceptional challenge this is turning into. Because now we've got the battle continuing between Antonelli and Barnard. And it's Kimi Antonelli that wins if it stays like this. And we're under safety car. And looking at that math with the time we've got left, surely we're going to finish this race under safety car. It's unfortunate. But at the end of the day, racing is racing. Motorsport is motorsport. If you don't like it, watch something else. It's the trials and tribulations of the sport that we have to deal with week in, week out. And for Kimi Antonelli, he's going to increase his tally by 10 points. And of course, that means as well, Lorenzo Flusha actually got past Aidan Neat. So it means that if it stays like this, which it's almost certainly going to, now that we're under safety car and the time is going to tick down to 0, pole position tomorrow is going to be Aidan Neat for race 2. A great chance for the British driver. He lost a perfect opportunity to go for the victory in race 2 in Kuwait Motor Town in round 3 just over a week ago, in my opinion. He would have had a great chance to win that. Now, if they can get the setup right at Prema tomorrow, who knows? Aidan Neat may be in prime position to take his first win in Formula Regional Middle East. And what an opportunity that would be for the young British charge. 3, 2, 1, time's up. And we're under safety car. And this is the first safety car lap. So, I'm afraid, unless they can get that car swept away in the next 12 seconds, this race is going to finish under safety car. And there is that car in the distance. Oh well, that car was in the distance. You can see it's being recovered fairly quickly by the recovery crew. They're going to move it out of harm's way. Have I spoken too soon? Are we actually going to get a racing lap in, or are we not? They could just do it, actually, technically speaking. But it has the next 5 seconds. They need to get the approval from the marshals. And I don't think it's come in time. No, the lights are still on the safety car. Are going to finish under safety car conditions. Very unfortunate. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. And for Andrea Kimi Antonelli, the luck goes his way. There is Giovanni Maschio's car being manoeuvred out of harm's way. We were just a few seconds too late. And so this race is going to finish under safety car conditions. And Andrea Kimi Antonelli is going to score 25 juicy points in his championship attack. Taylor Barnard is going to score 15. And that means that Antonelli will have a 54-point lead in the Drivers' Championship with only 125 points available. The title isn't won. Not even close. But for Andrea Kimi Antonelli, he now has 2 wins in his pocket, essentially, over Taylor Barnard, with 5 races to go. He can live by the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy principle now. Don't panic. Andrea Kimi Antonelli in front of Kamara and Barnard, Dufek and Bedrin, Stenshorn in a brilliant P6 from Marty Boyer, Tim Tramnitz, who will score points in his first race of the year, Lorenzo Flusha and Aidan Neat, who will score pole position for tomorrow's race in the reverse grid run. Wow, a fabulous performance. Andrea Kimi Antonelli charging his way to victory. Every race that plays out, you don't know how things are going to play out. You don't know if you're going to overcook the tyres. You don't know how the race is going to play out behind you. You don't know who's got their setup better. On this occasion, Mumbai Falcons and Andrea Kimi Antonelli got it right. It looked initially as though Taylor Barnard had for the PHM Racing team. He certainly fought for it in the early stages. And we thought that maybe this championship battle was going to rumble on a little longer. But Andrea Kimi Antonelli is trying to prove the opposite. This is my title. This is my championship fight. This is my crown. And I'm not going to let you have it, says the Italian stallion. He follows closely behind the safety car. He can drink in a fabulous result. He was leading the championship after Dubai, the first round. He was leading the championship after Kuwait Motor Town. And after 6 races, he hadn't even got 1 win. Andrea Kimi Antonelli certainly no win now. And he's about to take his 3rd win in the last 4 races. This is very similar to what we saw from Arthur Leclerc last year in the Formula Regional Asia Championship that was based out here in the Middle East. And that's how he won the title. Once he figured it out, he never really stopped winning. He would just win when he had to. And Antonelli now has a great chance to make it a hat-trick this time. He really wants to win a hat-trick. What if he could do it here in Dubai when he almost managed it in Kuwait? Certainly for now, he's started on the winning front. Andrea Kimi Antonelli wins again in 2023 in Formula Regional Middle East. He wins race 1 of round 4 in Dubai in front of Rafael Camara and Taylor Barnard. A great performance from Andrea Kimi Antonelli that takes the Italian youngster one step closer to becoming Formula Regional Middle East Champion 2023. It's not done yet. He's got at least a week, I think, before he manages to achieve it. Unless something horrifically wrong befalls Taylor Barnard. But there's a great chance now for Andrea Kimi Antonelli to keep this ball rolling. An excellent result for Andrea Kimi Antonelli. The Italian really has been superb. That's win number 3 for the Mumbai Falcons youngster for Italy. Still only 16 years of age, the Mercedes F1 Junior. And this will be a satisfying result. You've got to feel for Taylor Barnard. He gave it everything he had and really fought from the start. I genuinely thought maybe he could win this one. But Andrea Kimi Antonelli had the better setup. He had the better master plan. He had the better moves. A really exciting challenge. A tough race battle here in Dubai for race 1. We had some exceptional performances from the contenders in Formula Regional Middle East 2023. And right from the get-go, Joshua Dufek was out to prove it. Here we go! It's a brilliant start from Antonelli. It's just as good, if not better, from Dufek. Dufek's going to draw level and get alongside. They're going to go wheel to wheel to the first corner. Dufek with a majestic start, and he's going to beat Antonelli to turn 1, but car can car going wheel to wheel there. Rafael Camara trying to break through, but Barnard has got into 3rd position. Great news for BHM. Barnard can go straight after Antonelli, nice and early. Antonelli, this is for the championship fight, these two drivers battling for the honours. Antonelli trying to hold on in front of Barnard. Barnard now sweeps to the far side as Antonelli goes for the lead on Dufek. Can he get through? Antonelli draws level with Josh Dufek and gets a better run off the turn. Antonelli's going to have Dufek alongside him all the way to the braking zone. He wants to get through Antonelli and get in front. A big launch, and then Barnard's going to get past both of them. Taylor Barnard into the side of the car. Oh, goodness me, he's clattered into the side of Giovanni Mascio. His way to the lead. Now this is the replay of why we're, oh, goodness me, airborne. So that was a big hit. And neat. Well, Antonelli trying to get well clear then of Barnard. This is a big lunge from Camara. Rafael Camara launches through on the inside, trying to shake off Indra Verbazak. Indra Verbazak goes the long way. That's where Hanshin places in. Can Indra Verbazak commit? He's got better traction. He has to go on the curb. He's got better traction. He has to go on the curbs. And Hanshin is not letting him have it. He goes right off the road. And he's going to... Rafael Camara making a big attempt. He's not going to wait around any longer to get past Taylor Barnard. That is proper commitment from the Brazilian. And round the outside. Taylor Barnard's chances of a comeback bid. That's where he's pulled off. He really has tried his best to find somewhere to park the car. He's managed to do it right across the racetrack. He was looking for a marshal's post with a fire extinguisher. But unfortunately, there wasn't enough power left in the car to do it, and that car has come off the circuit in an awkward position. Right at the front again, though, in race 3. It's looking good for the Italian to pull clear of his opposition. He could just get this title won. So, a fabulous performance from Andrea Kimi Antonelli. No doubt he'll be refreshed and energised after that win. Feline Wang is down there with the Italian stallion after a brilliant race 1 victory here at the Dubai Autodrome in round 4.
Hey, Kimi, seems like another easy race for you. Tell us about it.
I mean, first of all, it was not easy. Start was quite bad, to be honest. I lost immediately the lead. And then, yeah, overall lap 1 was not great. I did a few mistakes, and then I went back to P3. But then, yeah, I mean, I had a great pace and was good. Then once I took the lead, I started to do my pace and pull away. And, yeah, great to win here in Dubai.
Congratulations! Yeah. 那刚刚呢，我问到 Kimi 呢，他对今天的表现怎么看？他提到呢，他开始呢其实没有起步不是很好，甚至落到了第3名。不过还好呢，在最后呢，他拿到了这个冠军，最后呢也保持了一个不错的速度，所以他也非常的开心。Back to you guys.
Thanks very much indeed, guys. a fabulous performance then from our competitors in the Formula Regional Middle East Championship 2023. There are 2 races to go here at Dubai Autodrome. Fascinating to hear from Andrea Kimi Antonelli, quite happy to admit that he got it wrong at the start. Didn't get the best of launches off the grid. Lap 1, he was down in 3rd position. But what a fighter. What a way to bounce back. What a charge back through the field it was for the Italian stallion. Thank you so much for all of your comments and all of your messages on the YouTube. It's been great to have everybody enjoying the coverage as much as he heard in fantastic style. It's been really, really strong over the course of this week. He's obviously got the raw pace to continue this battle forward. Race 3 is going to be a very interesting one for him as well, don't forget, because in qualifying he was 2nd in the session to Nikita Bedrin. So we'll have 3 different pole position sitters. Antonelli was pole position for this one. Aidan Neat will be pole position for race 2. And now, of course, we know that Nikita Bedrin will be pole position for race 3. So a fabulous set of opportunities for the contenders tomorrow. We'll stick around for the podium ceremony so that we can see Andrea Kimi Antonelli do exactly what Tuukka Tarpanen did in F4 UAE a little earlier on, which is to win both of the previous races.
Yes, it's me. And no, it's not cricket. But it's the same energy. It's not between the runs, but the laps. It's not between 2 teams, but many to come. It's not just between the players, but also their machines. Sweat, not in the jerseys, but in their gears. It's about the race this time. Show up to cheer for Amchi Mumbai. Yes, it's me.
It's going to be a huge sigh of relief for the Italian, taking the first victory after what was a very tricky opening lap. But he managed to fight his way back into position, which is a great tonic for him. So 3rd position for Taylor Barnard, still fighting fit, still trying to keep this title fight alive. He genuinely looked like he had a win in his pocket there. They'll learn, they'll figure out what the issues were. Rafael Camaro, what a drive from the Brazilian. Excellent result for him. But Andrea Kimi Antonelli gets his 3rd win in 4 races. Surely now he must be thinking, this championship title is on. We've got a great chance now. Don't lose too many points over the next 5 races. And we've got this. 54 points is now the lead that Antonelli has over Taylor Barnard. This title is agonisingly close. But Taylor Barnard will not give up. He will not surrender. He will not say die. He has that fighting mentality which is going to do him well in years to come. Rafael Camara joining us for the fight today in 2nd position. Now very much with a stranglehold on 3rd in the driver's standings. But Antonelli, a very important race win. And he takes 2 trophies because he wins the Rookie Club. But this man is just 5 races away now from winning the championship. And if Taylor Barnard has a nightmare tomorrow and it all goes right for Antonelli, easier than that. Championship fight. He will sleep on it. And he and the PHM crew will rejuvenate. They'll bounce back to their best tomorrow, no doubt. And we're going to have a fascinating challenge for the 2nd and 3rd races of round 4 here at the Dubai Autodrome. Thank you for being with us. It's been a great battle. From Feline Wang down in the pits, from myself, Jake Sanson in the commentary box, from everyone here handling the broadcast for the Formula Regional Middle East Championship in Dubai. There's 2 and 3 to come tomorrow. Join us then as the championship continues.
And no, it's not cricket. but it's the same energy. It's not between the runs, but the laps. It's not between two teams, but many to come. It's not just between the players, but also their machines. Sweat, not in the jerseys, but in their gears. It's about the race this time. Show up to cheer for Amchi Mumbai. Yes, it's me, and no, it's not cricket. But it's the same energy. It's not between the runs, but the laps. It's not between two teams,